Welcome to the Fuck, Marry, Kill Film Club.
I'm Audrey.
And I'm Bianca. We're two gals with 3 movies and 1 final verdict. Find out which one of your favorite movies we would fuck, marry, or kill.
This is episode 1, Liv Tyler in Space.
It's recording now, for sure.
Today, we're watching Armageddon, a 1998 film directed by Michael Bay and starring Bruce Willis, Ben Affleck, Billy Bob Thornton, Liv Tyler, Owen Wilson, Will Patton, Peter Stormare, William Fichtner, Michael Clarke Duncan, Keith David, and Steve Buscemi. And it follows Bruce Willis leading a ragtag group of engineers on a mission to space to help save the planet Earth.
And we're watching Space Station 76, a 2014 American science fiction dark comedy film directed by Jack Plotnick and co-written by Plotnick, Jennifer Elise Cox, Sam Pancake, Callie Rocha, and Michael Stoyanov. This is Plotnick's first film. This is important. Space Station 76 is a dark comedy film that deconstructs seemingly idyllic relationships set against the backdrop of Omega 76, a 1970s retro-futuristic space station starring Liv Tyler.
The final film in our Liv Tyler in Space trilogy is Ad Astra, a 2019 film directed by James Gray, starring Brad Pitt, embarking on a mission to Neptune to find his long-lost father.
Liv Tyler absolutely has no lines in this film.
But Liv Tyler is in the movie. Liv Tyler is in the movie.
After our reviews, find out which of these movies we would fuck, marry, or kill.
This episode is brought to you by...
That looks delicious.
Yeah. Ask your local bartenders to make you an olive you glad I didn't say banana next time.
And they're gonna love that.
So, let's talk Armageddon.
So, Armageddon. My favorite part is that about it was the beginning where they introduce the problem at hand. Right?
Right away.
Right away.
No time was wasted in Armageddon.
No. We learn that the guy that lives in the tower, stargazing, right? What's his job? The tower guy with the wife who he hates.
In Armageddon?
The telescope guy. Observatory
The
guy.
observatory guy.
Yes.
Okay.
And then so this is how they introduce the problem. The guy
Right away.
is living in the observatory. This is his full-ass time, full job. Like, the only thing I'm gonna do in my career is identify this meteor that's gonna destroy the Earth. He lives there with his wife, who hates that he's always working, and she's pissed. That stayed with me.
And then there's like 2.5 hours of not this guy.
Yeah.
I am still hazy on his existence in this movie at all. Okay.
He was a catalyst.
He was the catalyst, but then New York blows up and you find out what Bruce Willis is all, the rough and tough hero. Mm-hmm. He doesn't want to do it, but he does, and he gets his whole band of friends.
Criminals.
Some of them.
So Bruce Willis is living on this oil rig.
Yeah, Bruce Willis is an oil man. He's an oily man.
He's an oil. So he's on an oil rig.
Yeah.
With Liv Tyler, his daughter.
Yeah.
And Ben Affleck is his protege, but also
secretly dating Liv Tyler, and Bruce Willis hates this
because he catches them in bed together, which is like a whole to-do. Oh, and then he tries to kill him. He tries to kill Ben Affleck after
he does. And so this is like the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Murder, divorce, sex, love, all death, apocalypse.
It was very, very, very loud.
It was very loud.
All of it. Everyone's shouting the whole time. The music is loud. There's explosions. There's so many explosions, and they never end.
Oh, we didn't even talk about Owen Wilson.
One of the things that Armageddon really, kind of struck a wrong chord with me with is the nationalism,
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know.
We
right?
did, yes.
Because as they're on this mission to save Earth from this giant asteroid that's going to hit us and stuff, like, you notice it actually does destroy a lot of parts of the world that just happen to not be the United States of America.
Well, and the way that they destroyed these countries, they did it in the most problematic ways. Like the way they described or portrayed Asia. This was what, the 90s?
Well, and that's the thing that I think it really speaks to is it was 1998 we said?
Yeah.
And it's this very much pre 9/11, pre Bush era, but sowing these seeds of kind of the faith in the American military and our interventionist policies that were going to save us, because that's all we could do.
And the entire time when all these scientists are trying to find ways to save the Earth, it's only NASA. No other country gives a shit about the Earth exploding.
Yeah.
So no one else is involved except for Russia later.
The only person who can do this is Bruce Willis. That's the best we got.
A rough and tough, hard-working, blue-collar American.
Oil man.
An oil man who's going to save America. And yeah, that is the biggest issue that we have with this movie. Was just the way that they portrayed other countries.
They had 5 seconds to make an impression of what it was like and went for the
most cliche,
storybook.
But not even just cliche. It's it surpasses. It's offensive. It surpasses cliche. It's just it's very 90s.
Very, very 90s. It bears the mark of its time.
Yeah.
Very, very much.
Very much. I think that made me very uncomfortable, and I think is tainted watching the next movies or the following movies we watched was just thinking about Liv Tyler's sexuality being intertwined with the music of her father.
So we're gonna talk about Aerosmith. We all know the song. And we know it's the romance song. I, for one, this was a cold watch for me.
What?
I've never seen Armageddon.
Okay.
I was surprised that not only was Don't Wanna Miss a Thing in here multiple times, there were lots of other Aerosmith songs that played throughout the movie, and that really kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah.
And so that just added a really sour note for me because it's 90s Aerosmith.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Liv Tyler she's a plot point in this movie. It's really sad because she's wonderful, but she is, and is somehow allowed to roam the inner offices of NASA with free reign during all of this chaos.
Watching
interfering also with the progress of the space mission.
I forget about the space mission at that point when I go into this dark hole of Liv Tyler and wondering if she's okay. Steve Buscemi is another
playing a classic Steve Buscemi pervert character.
Yeah. I love him though. I really shouldn't. I do though. He's
Stick around for lots more Steve Buscemi in future Fuck, Marry, Kill Film Club episodes. We didn't really talk about the space mission at all.
We didn't.
If there's one thing that I do, when I throw some coins at for this movie is it is thrilling. It's very, very gripping. And it was an intense watch. It's very, very, I won't lie, problems aside, when it gets to the end and Bruce Willis
overthrows NASA.
Yeah, but it's a little bit emotional. We were tearing up when Liv Tyler found out her dad died.
For her to have a husband and the pressure on that marriage though.
But I mean overall it was a wild ride and all the explosions and action is it's Michael Bay.
It is. Closing remarks on Armageddon was yes, it was really thrilling. There was something always going wrong, and it was always fixed at the last second.
Space Station 76. Now, what a complete change of pace from Armageddon. This is a high camp, goofy kind of rom-com serial comedy, whatever.
Yeah.
But Liv Tyler talks a lot in this movie. Liv Tyler has actually, probably of the 3 movies we watched,
More of a dynamic
the
character
most
to work
dynamic, well-rounded character. She comes on this station. She's co-captain or something, and there's, you know, a lot of tension. They pull up, like, you know, kind of the ideologies of the 70s, and there's a lot of tension because people don't like a woman being in that kind of leadership role, and there's some motherhood kind of conversations going around.
And there's subplots of like people having a hard time grasping their like homosexuality, and like that's a whole plot point as to why Liv Tyler is there to save the space station from like this alcoholic who's dealing with being in love with their previous co-captain, and just dealing with that.
Yeah, and that's tough. And personally, I thought that element kind of took me by surprise. And there were some scenes that were actually like pretty kind of like emotional and shocking in the way that they handled that kind of like romance and that kind of pressure.
When did that movie come out again?
Something like 2014 or whatever.
2014. Oh, so it is pretty new. Okay. Yeah, I just was thrown off by the guy from Kangaroo Jack being in it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there was a lot of good. There were some good laughs. There was some good comedy. There was some heartwarming moments between Liv Tyler and one of the children on board. Some really good stuff there. The child actor, adorable. She did great. Probably the star of this movie, to be honest.
Yeah, she did. She was more. she had it more together than any adult on that. But Liv Tyler was pretty level-headed too.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, Liv Tyler and the girls. He had his head on straight too.
Yeah, with the fake arm.
You know, it was harmless. Kind of dragged.
It didn't feel like, it felt like definitely they were trying to have the aesthetics carry the plot line and the movie and everything, and it just really didn't. It wasn't enough to make up for like the lack of the plot.
yeah. If they wanted to have the aesthetics carry the movie, like were the aesthetics like totally strong enough to do that?
No, yeah. I mean, in the setting too, that like there isn't enough. See, that it is not a lot of depth.
Yeah, and it was like less than 90 minutes. Some laughs. Liv Tyler did great.
She did do
really well. She handled some. She was supposed to be keeping her head really level to have this kind of professional co-captain position, but has all these personal problems going on, and I think the way that she showed that balance and kind of that conflict was pretty good. She sounds just like January Jones from Mad Men.
She does.
Her voice.
They both have soft eyes. One thing I did like about the movie was they have like this psychiatrist on board. It's like a shrink, but it's a tiny robot, and it gives everybody, it's the psychiatrist for like everybody on there, and it really just gives you kind of a random response every time. And I was even invested at the beginning of the film. I was like, this robot's really just giving some good advice, and then later they reveal that the robot literally just hands out like random pieces of just general advice, and I was like, oh my god.
Because what is therapy?
Isn't that what therapy is? It was disappointing. Tiny little robot man. Dr. Little Robot Man.
Dr. Little Robot Man. Well, yeah, that's Space Station 76.
Oh, Liv Tyler calls her dad in it. Essentially, Space Station 76 is a fair love triangle in space.
With some cool costumes. Ad Astra. Now, we'd both seen this one before, right? And I fucking hated this movie the first time I saw it. Visceral reaction. Did not like it. And this time around, I was a little more mixed. How'd you feel?
I fell asleep.
It's pretty slow, and the thing that irked me the first time, irked me this time, is like, you're watching this movie and it's pretty obvious what's going on, and you understand Brad Pitt has these daddy issues that he's got to resolve, and he's a shitbag, and his ex-wife, Liv Tyler, hates him, and all this, and you're watching the movie and you're like, I understand what's going on, then Brad Pitt's voiceover comes in and explains everything that's happening to you. Like, you'll watch a scene where he like accidentally kills a bunch of people and he's like, and then I just thought about my dad, or however the fuck Brad Pitt talks.
Because his dad, he had just found out his dad also killed a bunch of people.
Yeah, and he's like, am I becoming my father? And it just like keeps just beating you over the head with these voiceovers. And, you know.
Wait, I just registered your fake Brad Pitt voice.
Pretty bad. It was a little more like Dark Knight Batman.
Yeah.
Also really loud. Another really, really loud movie.
It was so loud, but but loud enough where it was just consistently loud, where I was just like, this is the level of noise I'm going to sleep through. I comfortably did.
The thing that just like kills me with this is the whole time you're just like, like Brad Pitt, like go to therapy. Or
Brad Pitt would rather travel to fucking Uranus than go to therapy.
Oh god, was it Uranus?
It was Uranus, I think.
We can edit that in the intro, maybe. Now we'll figure it out.
It won't matter.
Yeah.
Not like it just like it did it in the fucking movie. So for my notes on this one, I mean, I did fall asleep, but I also wrote a list of obstacle Brad Pitt faces. Should I read them?
Yeah, let's talk about all the things that Brad Pitt has to fight against in this movie.
Coping with his inability to let go of Liv Tyler, the disappearance of his father, the reappearance of his father, space pirates, Donald Sutherland dying, having the mission to kill his dad, unhinged primates ripping faces off, dead captain, self-discovery through digital therapy, ship fails randomly, Natasha Leggero's attitude problem. What did I...
Who is that?
I don't know why I wrote
part
that
of the
down.
movie was she in?
She was not in the movie. I don't know why I wrote this down. No, I don't know why I wrote this down. The psychological evaluations, terrible decor in the calm room. The calm room.
Oh, yeah.
Sneaking onto a rocket, his dad being a murderer, taking over an entire spaceship, killing literally everyone on the spaceship, Liv Tyler videos.
We actually misspoke, because Liv Tyler does speak in this movie.
Oh yeah.
But only through weird videos Brad Pitt has of her, like,
That he
divorcing
rewatches.
him. That he rewatches to feel bad about himself.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we see, like, hazy shadows of her, like...
Leaving him, leaving the keys on the counter.
Yeah.
Or like waking up.
And then Brad Pitt does this whole thing where he kills his father and comes to terms and fixes all his problems, and at the end we get this shot of him sitting down to dinner with Liv Tyler as if like him
That happened?
as if like Brad Pitt going to Uranus somehow like made her feel better about all the shitty things he had done to her before, which is a ludicrous way.
And these are the things that like just like break relationships, like from through everything we understood that they broke up because he emotionally abandoned her.
Yeah.
You don't make your way
Because
back
that's
from
what Brad Pitt does.
I mean, I guess watch this movie.
No.
If you want to fall asleep, I mean, I had a really good midday nap.
And I guess one of the things that really like kills me about it is I'm always taken aback that I feel like it can't decide between being like a family drama or like high science fiction, because it'll always have where I'm watching this, I'm like, okay, so Brad Pitt's just going through space and like trying to find his dad and he's sad, whatever, and then like the space monkeys come out, like killer space monkeys. I'm like, whoa, I forgot we were watching like this kind of movie.
Yeah.
And they just have no bearing on like the plot, and I just think it's so funny. Moon Burger King? There's like a Burger King on the moon.
Oh yeah, and then we have to think about like
Moon Burger King.
the way that we want to capitalize like space, and I'm thinking about that, and then space pirates come in.
Space, see again, like,
It's-
well, like you're
it's
like,
all over
oh,
the
isn't
place.
this just about like Brad Pitt's daddy issues? And it's like space pirates.
It's exhausting. I'm tired.
Yeah, it is. It's exhausting. It's really slow. The special effects are really cool.
They were good.
I like the music.
It was like comforting watch. I don't know. I just fell asleep, so that's how I'm trying to describe it. It's a very comfortable movie.
So that's Ad Astra.
Yeah.
So those were our 3 movies. Is it time for the final verdict?
Yes, it is. Wait, you read mine and I read yours.
Oh!
Yeah. Okay, here's Audrey's verdict. That's what it says. Okay, fuck Armageddon. Marry Space Station 76. Interesting. Kill Ad Astra. Okay, why?
Well, Armageddon. You know, it's fast, it's loud, it's intense, it's got Aerosmith. I mean, it's good for a romp. You can't say no. Space Station 76, you know, I know you had a lot of problems with it, but it's light, it's funny, it's got a good sense of style. I just don't think it's gonna hurt me.
It's riddled with relationship problems. Like, that's the whole movie.
Yeah.
Do you like damaged people?
Well, are you telling me I should pick daddy issues Brad Pitt over just like hanging out with Liv Tyler and Kangaroo Jack guy in like a little like retro kitsch space station? No, fuck bad Brad Pitt and his daddy issues. That's my final verdict.
All right. Okay.
Bianca, fuck Ad Astra, marry Armageddon, and kill Space Station 76. All right, talk.
Ad Astra, I don't know. I love a good sad white boy. I don't know. I don't know. It's part of me. It always will be, and
You can fall asleep right after.
I can fall asleep. Marry Armageddon. You know, I would marry Bruce Willis, and in this, I would marry. That's the only person I would marry in this film, because I would want a husband who sacrifices his life so that our daughter could be happy.
And then you wouldn't actually be married. You know, you could just be a widower.
Yeah.
And collect those government checks for Bruce Willis.
100%. Don't even deal with the man, and I'm like the honorary wife of a fucking hero. Brilliant. Kill Space Station 76. There were like multiple plot points in that film where you're like, oh my god, is the space station gonna go down because the captain is drunk and running into space rocks? And then it never happens. I would like it to happen.
Send asteroids to Space Station 76. Well, there you have it. There's the Fuck, Marry, Kill Film Club verdict on the Liv Tyler and Space trilogy. Armageddon, Space Station 76, and Ad Astra.
For our next episode, we're gonna have you pick what we'll watch. The first option is Talking Babies. Option number 2 is Animated Underwater.
Let us know in the comments, and we'll also be conducting an Instagram poll, so follow us there.
At FMK Film Club on Instagram, Twitter, and Gmail.
Okay.
Yeah, FMA Kill Film Club at gmail.com. Okay. Thanks for watching and happy watching. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was pretty good. We did good.